und willkommen in Appenzellerland.
The mysterious Appenzellerland lies between Sentis, the Alpstein and Lake Constance. Nestled in the idyllic hilly landscape with its lush meadows and forests lies the natural alpine world that gave its name to the unique Appenzeller cheese. Join us on a journey through this incomparable area and discover the secrets of this most special of regions. When summer arrives in the Appenzellerland, it is time for the herdsmen to come out with their animals. The annual procession up the Alps is an important day in the calendar for the whole alpine family. Everyone, big and small, helps out to ensure that the animals find their way safely up into the Alps. Lush alpine meadows and fresh alpine air is waiting for the cattle. There is a very special bond between the farmers and their livestock. Many animals recognize their herdsmen by their voice alone. The rich grass of the Appenzeller alpine meadows provides the perfect basis for the natural raw milk from which the Appenzeller cheese is ultimately made. It was the alpine herdsmen who first produced cheese over 700 years ago. Using the simplest of methods, traditionally by hand, they founded the success story of the unique, full-flavoured Appenzeller cheese. The old traditional work by hand has survived over the centuries. Here in the Alps, Appenzeller cheese is still made using the original production methods. When summer starts to dwindle and the first cool days announce the arrival of autumn, you feel the mysterious connection between man and beast once more. It is nearly time to leave. The farmer makes his way back down the valley to the stables with his animals. Today, going up into the alpine pastures is as much an intrinsic part of the tradition as coming back down. Tradition and customs are still deeply ingrained in life in the Appenzellerland. The native population carry out their customs with devotion. Around the middle of the alpine summer, lively dances take place in many alpine locations. In the open, with nature as a picturesque backdrop, it is time for exuberant celebrations with music, singing and dancing. The so-called Hierig, the dance of love, is essential. A couple dressed in magnificent traditional costumes express in dance the highs and lows of a relationship. Other dances also express something specific. One thing that's particularly impressive is the natural yodel, the Säule, or Rugeselle, as it's called in the Appenzellerland. An important custom is the annual cattle show that takes place in the region. It takes place after the descent from the alpine pastures. The animals, who've been smartened up, are presented to the judges and assessed on appearance and performance. The year comes to an end with the Silvesterklausen. It starts at daybreak when people put on elaborate masks and historical costumes. The mummers go in groups from house to house, accompanied by the clanking of their cowbells. They wish the inhabitants a happy new year with a beautifully sung song called a Klause Säule, and then move on to the next house. In Appenzell, modernity and tradition go together harmoniously in a singular way. The idyllic appearance of Appenzell is dotted with 16th century wooden houses, some of which are brightly painted. The curved gables lend the village its unique character. Every year, the last Sunday in April is a particularly special day, with the traditional meeting of the Assembly. On the dot of 12 o'clock, the procession, made up of local elected officials with their colourful banners, the cantonal government and the district court, as well as the guests of honour from the town hall, make their way to the town square. This is where around 3,000 eligible voters come together to form the Assembly, the original form of direct democracy. Today, important political decisions are still made in this way in the open air. An important component of daily life in this region is traditional craftwork. For example, that of the metal engravers. They produce valuable parts of the Appenzeller traditional costume with dedication and passion. The artists who produce decorative artwork and painting, and who maintain the customs and landscape of the region with their naive scenes, are much loved ambassadors for Appenzellerland. Today, Appenzeller cheese is mainly produced in the valley. The majority of managed land here is still made up of natural meadows and pastures. The animals here lead a healthy life in the open countryside. Fresh air, healthy feed and lots of devotion from the farmers make the best conditions for the perfect raw milk that goes into Appenzeller cheese. The secret of the milk? The cows only get fresh grass and hay, never silage. This ensures that only raw milk of the highest quality is used for Appenzeller cheese. Close cooperation between the farmers and the cheesemakers guarantees that the required quality is maintained. Between them, they check the stables and milking plants at regular intervals. The production area is strictly limited to the two half cantons Appenzell Innerrhoden and Ausserrhoden, as well as parts of the St. Gallen and Thurgau cantons. The local farmers deliver milk twice a day to the dairy. The fresh milk is immediately processed by the cheesemaker. This is one of the secrets behind the Appenzeller cheese's special quality. Before he uses the milk to make cheese, he tests a sample of it to ensure that it meets the high quality expectations. Next, the cheesemaker puts lactic acid bacteria into the vat, which allows the milk to ferment. The addition of rennet and the correct temperature ensure that the milk curdles and becomes gelatinous. The cheesemaker supervises the entire production process. Knowledge and experience are particularly important here. Gradually, the milk becomes more viscous. The resulting mass is now reduced into smaller pieces with a cheese harp. The vat is then warmed to around 40 degrees and the milk solidifies into small pieces. The removal of the curd requires great skill from the cheesemaker. The remaining whey can be used separately, for example, as a healthy drink. Finally, the curds are pressed in order to remove any liquid. After around an hour, the cheesemaker cuts the curds into pieces and puts them into the cheese container. There, the curds are pressed again. Each cheese gets a so-called cheese passport, so that the consumer can later trace the cheese back to its point of origin using the date. The fresh cheeses are left in a salt bath. The salt brings out the taste and forms a hard rind. The cheese is stored for 3 to 4 weeks in the humid cheese cellar and is regularly rubbed with a brine. Afterwards, it is stored and nurtured further in a maturing facility. What makes Appenzeller cheese so uniquely spicy is the careful treatment using the secret herbal brine. The secret ingredient forms an elaborate process using a mix of herbs, spices, leaves, blossoms, seeds and rind. Only 2 specialists are privy to the information. They hand the secret recipe down from generation to generation. During the maturing time, every wheel of Appenzeller cheese is regularly infused with the secret herbal brine. The cheese not only gets its unmistakable spicy aroma from this, but also the characteristic colour of its rind. After around 2.5 months of aging, cheese experts carry out some strict tests. The pattern of holes, the texture, colour, size, smell and taste are judged. After 3 to 6 months, the cheese has reached perfect maturity. Only Appenzeller cheese with the best results is suitable for sale. The trade organisation takes care of the professional marketing of Appenzeller cheese, for example with clever advertising posters. The advertising for Appenzeller has already been awarded several renowned advertising prizes, as the famous and popular TV commercials with Uwe Ochsenknecht go down well with the public as well as in professional circles.
Entweder ihr verratet mir jetzt dieses Geheimrezept oder ich esse euren Käse nie wieder. Bin ich knallhart.
Das Rezept seines Geschmacks bleibt geheim. Appenzeller, der würzigste Käse der Schweiz.
Oh, jetzt habe ich gerade das Geheimrezept vergessen. Im Kopf. Wie geht's schon wieder?
Jaundice.
Das Rezept seines Geschmacks bleibt geheim. Appenzeller, der würzigste Käse der Schweiz.
Spicy Appenzeller cheese is available in different varieties to suit all taste buds. Appenzeller Classic, mild, delicate. Appenzeller zur Choix, spicy, hot. Appenzeller Extra, extra spicy, extra hot. Appenzeller Bio, made from organic milk. Appenzeller quarter-fat mild, mild quarter-fat cheese made from partly skimmed milk. Appenzeller quarter-fat Rest, the spicy one matured for up to 8 months. And Appenzeller Fondue, Switzerland's spiciest fondue. Acquire a taste for the secret and enjoy Switzerland's spiciest cheese. At the inviting cheese counter, our knowledgeable experts will be glad to help you. Take a piece of Appenzellerland home with you. Are you hungry yet? In our cozy restaurant, we can offer you a choice of typical Appenzeller specialities. In the fresh air of Appenzellerland, with the view and the beautiful landscape, the Appenzeller speciality cheeses taste just as delicious, like, for example, a lovely cheese fondue.
Auf Wiedersehen, nach Appenzellerland.